It can definitely be a bit shattering when you get rejected.
It's a drama in little funny world.
It's just a silly thing. It's not important.
Oh, really?
I think that comes through very well in my work.
So you like experimenting, don't you?
Definitely, yeah.
How important is it for you?
I get a lot of personal satisfaction from painting.
For many people, it's just a dream.
Yes, definitely, yeah.
Today, Art in Adelaide is visiting Collective Haunt Art Space on the Parade to see the Little Pastime exhibition by Erin Renfrey. Hi, Erin.
Hello.
Erin, this exhibition made me smile immediately when I entered this room because it's so colorful, so optimistic, so positive. How did you get the idea to put together this body of work, and what inspired you?
What inspired me? I've always been drawn to whimsy and joy, and I just wanted to do a whole show on that, basically. I think it's super underrated.
And is it your first solo exhibition, or you have already exhibited with solo exhibition somewhere before?
This is my first ever solo show, so doing one that was completely fantastical has always been a dream of mine.
And did it take long to put all these images together for display?
It took about 5 months, but very well paced. I only had to rush a few times at the end.
No, I can bet it's the brightest exhibition I have ever seen. And does it somehow reflect your attitude to life, your lifestyle, your personality?
I think it does. I always try to have a positive, optimistic outlook, and I think that comes through very well in my work.
Standing in this gallery, I feel like I got inside of some children's book, because all the Erin's paintings look like maybe illustrations for fairy tale. And I believe that each painting has some story which you would like to tell us while this painting.
I can tell a lot. This was one of the very first paintings I did for the show, and it's more personal than a lot of my work has ever been. And the general gist is it's about identity and finding someone that you love. So we've got this sort of desolate landscape where not many living things are growing. We've got a few flowers. Yeah. But right at the back here is a little bubble house with a little path leading through. And the general idea for the show was to have this path go through each and every artwork, sort of tying them together as this big journey. So we've got a little raspberry here with a little plastic knife who's trying to tear these 2 lifesaver ice blocks apart.
It's a drama in little funny world.
Yeah, it's a little dramatic.
But what happened later? Was it successful? This strawberry, raspberry.
I don't think they are. I don't think they succeed in tearing them apart.
That's good.
Yeah.
Erin, you named your exhibition Funny Little Pastime. Does it mean that art is just a pastime for you, or did you mean something else?
Since my works are quite silly, I believe it's a bit of a reflection on a lot of people who haven't really taken me so seriously through the years, and them believing that it's a pastime or just a hobby, like just it's just a silly thing. It's not important.
But how important is it for you?
Very.
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 I'm quite curious about all the techniques and materials which you use to paint your artwork. Can you please tell a bit, just little bit about this work and what did you use to create it?
Of course. So this is a cradled panel work, which is in watercolour and gouache.
Watercolour?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So it's on watercolour grounds, which then you can apply to a lot of different surfaces. It makes it better than painting on paper sometimes. And then it's left to dry, and then it's very easy to draw on. So the very first layers are watercolour, and then the the highlights are all in gouache as well, just to make them pop a little bit better.
Did you find it challenging to use watercolor on non-traditional surface?
It was definitely a challenge. This isn't the first one. This is probably the maybe third or fourth attempt to try to get it right.
And did you like it?
I do, yeah, it's fun. It's it makes more standout works, I think. People don't expect watercolor on panel, so
Absolutely.
it's a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, for me it was a question, was it acrylics or oil, because it did not look like these traditional materials. And do you use other paints for your works?
I do. This show's a bit of a mix. I was very ride or die watercolor at the start, but here we've got some acrylics, some water-soluble oils mixed in there as well, just for a bit of a change.
So you like experimenting, don't you?
Yes.
How often do you mix different media in your works, and how does it impact the final result?
I don't do it super often, really just with my watercolor paintings, because gouache on top of watercolor, I think, adds a nice highlight, gives it a bit of texture as well, which is the benefits of also using watercolor ground, is that it's a bit more visually interesting than just flat paper. But for different works, I tend to just stick with them as they are, just singular. I mix the other ones too much.
Watercolor is a medium for experiments,
Yeah.
and other you use just like traditional ones.
Yeah, at least until I get a little bit more confident with other materials.
The more I look at your pieces, the more little hidden things I find, and I really appreciate this highly detailed painting. Did you learn this technique in art school? Did you have some art education?
I studied a Bachelor of Creative Arts Visual Arts at Flinders Uni in TFSA, and I graduated in 2023. While I definitely learned a lot, and a lot of my technique from there, I've definitely changed and improved, I reckon, since then.
And do you think that this formal art education helped you a lot?
Definitely, yeah. I wouldn't have the confidence to consider this as a career if I hadn't gone. And I've met lots of amazing people and lots of cool connections to others.
And is it important for you to be able to exhibit and to show your works to a wide audience?
Yes, it's very important. I get a lot of personal satisfaction from painting, but seeing other people's responses and interpretations to my work is definitely informative.
Erin, can you tell about this walk? Because it's such an interesting story, and there are so many different characters living their life in this painting. And I believe it should take a lot of time to prepare for this painting. What are the stages of your work on painting like this?
So for a big painting like this, I start from doing lots of very scrappy little sketches, and then I prime the boards, which take quite a bit of time. So in between then, I do like some color studies, I work out the general composition for the work, and then I slowly draw onto the board very carefully, because watercolor ground doesn't like to give up graphite once it's laid on there. Also, some things are a bit improvised. It really depends. Like there's some changes from the original sketch to the finished work. For instance, this little fairy circle with this human bone wasn't planned at all, just kind of happened. And then I start from a focal point. So in this case, it was a beetroot on the rocking horse, and I paint out from there. So it just kind of expands and takes over the panel as I go.
What galleries do you prefer to exhibit at?
I always keep my eye out on people who are doing call-outs and proposals, that sort of thing. But I've only done a few other small galleries. But.
And did you participate in some group shows or in art prizes?
Yep, I've done a few group shows. I've also done the Parklands Art Prize and a few little like interstate opportunities. I prefer to exhibit at lots of community galleries, local ARIs as well, but I have an exhibition at BMG coming up soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How did you get to this gallery? Because for many people it's just a dream.
After uni, I got snaffled up by Hill Smith, and through them and their connections, they introduced me to BMG.
And do you participate in some art prizes? Because it's quite a painful question for many artists. Some are liking it, some not. Do you participate, and what do you think about art prizes?
I do. I think they're useful. It can definitely be a bit shattering when you get rejected. I've done Parklands and Youthscape as well, some of the big ones. I also did the Lethbridge small scale one.
Thank you, Erin. It was quite interesting to talk to you, and also it's really, really interesting to look at each of your artwork. And I hope that people would visit your exhibitions,
Me too.
this and next ones, and we wish you good luck in your art career.
Thank you.
What I'm doing here?